Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Hello everyone, Mike Krueger, and we are, of course, my wife just telling me I'm not live. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see if I can figure out. Well, I should be. It shows that I am, so I'm going to have her. Well, I think it's because I'm a little late. That's probably, I apologize. Yes, I'm a little late, so that's probably why she's bugging me. Yeah, it looks like I'm there. Looks like we're good to go. How you doing? Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm reporting, of course, I'm recording live here. Oh, she says it's on. All right, so we're getting confirmation. I think my wife's out on the beach right now, walking Nessie, and I'm here. I found a better location in my little compound here in Baja, Mexico. Found some better Wi-Fi service and just kind of a better location for me. There's a major highway that kind of runs in front, and you get the Jake brakes and all that stuff. So hopefully it's not as loud. It looks like it's a little bit better lighting. Unfortunately, we don't have the ocean behind us, but you do what you got to do, and you got to work with what you got to work with. And I'm very happy to be reporting to you live here for Coffee with Krueger. My wife, she's on here this morning. She's saying, I see you. Good morning. Love you, honey. How you doing? We got Rebecca Lynn saying good morning from Paradise, so I appreciate you for chiming in this morning. Yes, I'm a little late this morning, but certainly not, I'm on Mexican time. Let's just put it that way. Not even necessarily Mexican time, right? I'm on vacation time. But I still got to do some work here, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So tell you what, let's get you to the forecast here. We're going to start off by taking a look at, well, I thought I loaded up the maps here. Let's go ahead and get those maps loaded up. And what's happening? What's happening, folks? Something happened. You can see me, but you can't see my maps for some reason. I'm going to do this. Let's see here. Should be working. There we go. Something, I had to just click something. All right, here we go. So I wanted to start off with the radar here because the radar shows what happened yesterday. Out towards the Portola area, there was actually a very strong thunderstorm that prompted the National Weather Service to issue a severe thunderstorm warning. There was a flood warning in the area as well. And when we look at the fires here a little bit later, you'll see that there are some fires in that area as well, most likely sparked by, wouldn't you know, lightning. But here's the thing. Mother Nature is not something, we can't do anything about Mother Nature, right? When those lightning strikes, there's not much we can do about it. But we can prevent other fires from starting. So that's really the key to a lot of these other fires that do start. Temperatures very mild this morning, right around the mid to upper 70s, even around 80. Look at 80 degrees for Redding as well as Rebla, 81 in Chico. We're seeing it about 73 in Corning and 74 degrees in Willows, 61 degrees in Alturas, and those low 50s right now out along the coast. So let's take a look at the visibility out there, and you can see it down to about 5-mile visibility. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take you to a camera coming in from Crescent City. Before we get to that one here, we're going to show you Crescent City camera. And there you have it. Looks like the visibility is actually pretty good. I'm going to go full screen here. Let's see if I'll be able to get out of full screen. I will be able to. But actually, not much in the way of low clouds or fog out in the Crescent City area right now. So looks like a very nice morning to start off the day for all of our friends out there in Del Norte County in Crescent City. Looks pretty good, and visibility looks pretty good out in Eureka. So yeah, we are seeing some better conditions out along the coast where you are starting to see a bit more in the way of sunshine. Let's get you out the door this morning. Again, a mild start to the day in the valley. We've got those temperatures in the low 80s for the valley, 70s for many of the higher elevations. Still a bit of haze from some of the smoke, but for the most part, the smoke and haze is not all that bad in many locations. Taking a quick look at your forecast for today, yes, it is going to be another hot day across the area. 111 for Redding, 108 for Chico. I mean, even look at the mountains. I mean, you're going to be over 100 degrees in many locations as well there. Now, we take a look at your 7-day outlook. for the valley. Start off in the valley to start off, and temperatures are dropping after today. We're going to drop below normal. Now, the normal high in the valley is about 101 degrees in particular for Redding. So we're going to drop below that come Friday this weekend. Low to mid 90s throughout the weekend. Looks much more pleasant as we take into the weekend, but we're going to see that upward tick going into early next week. Temperatures low to mid 60s for the coast, and temperatures also dropping inland, and not to mention out towards Trinity County as well. Now, notice for Mount Shasta, no thunderstorms in the forecast today, but Siskiyou County could see a chance for thunderstorms tomorrow. We'll get into that in the deeper dive forecast here in a little bit, but the whole key to getting you started here is for many of you who watch early on, you can get your forecast for the day and you can move on and be on your way. Chance for thunderstorms for Alturas today and tomorrow, not to mention out towards Lassen County as well. We got to watch for that potential. And then temperatures do drop. We're in the 80s for Mount Shasta by Friday through the weekend, looking much more pleasant there. But again, that uptick in those temperatures as we take you into the beginning of next week and going through next week. All right, let's kind of check in with everybody, see how you're doing. Of course, again, that was just kind of your quick forecast for the day to kind of get you out the door for those of you that want to get out the door and get on for your day. But if you want to stick around, maybe chat, see how you're doing, maybe ask me some questions about the weather, maybe ask me questions about my vacation. I'm here in Baja, Mexico, in a community called La Misión. Playa La Misión is kind of where the beach is. And we've got this, my mom has this great property out here that I've been visiting, coming out here for the last 25 years. It's been phenomenal. It's a great place for me to go and hang out, bring family. Aiden's been growing up coming out here and enjoying coming out to Mexico. Today, we are heading out to Ensenada. We're going to head out to, what are they called? It's a blowhole. Oh my gosh. I can't remember the name of it, but there's this awesome blowhole that you can go out to. My wife found some not too far from there, some hot springs that she wants to go check out. So we got a full schedule out there today. Good morning. No fog in Fortuna this morning coming in from Rowdy Kelly. We got Catherine Schmidt saying good morning. Good morning from Jeff Johnson. Mike, hope you're having a good vacation. I am. I'm really enjoying it. And I tell you what, this trip here to Mexico this week is a test to see if I can come out here for longer stretches and enjoy a couple of weeks, maybe a month out here, and work remotely. Because here's the beautiful thing about the weather. Even I don't have to be there to report the weather. I can still have all the experience of living in that area for 25 years and forecasting the area and take that with me wherever I go. Now, I'm still going to live in Redding, but I anticipate that maybe by next summer, I'll be out here for longer stretches. So again, this is kind of a test to see how that goes. And I'm going to have a much better setup than I have right now too, much better technology as well. Viva Baja, La Bufadora. Thank you, Rebecca. It's La Bufadora. That's where we're going. That's where we have, it's going to be a blowhole that we're going to be checking out. Should be not fun. Not sure about the spelling? Well, it was enough for me to know what was going on. But Bufadora, that was some pretty good phonetic spelling for you. But thank you, Rebecca. That's where we're going out there today. It's about a 2-hour drive from where we are, so we got a bit of a long trek out there. We're going to enjoy it. I know that there's a lot of shops along the way, kind of before you get to La Bufadora, the actual blowhole itself. And one of the cool things we eventually want to do is apparently you can rent kayaks and head out to the base of where that blowhole is and get a really cool perspective from there as well. All right, let's check in, and it looks like everybody else is kind of checking in there. Let's do this now, and we are going to take you to the fires as we kind of go into a little bit more. But before, let's get into the fires here real quickly here, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, so let's get you here. There we go. So we're looking at the Shelley fire right now, and this is the satellite image detecting heat signatures from the fire. There's nothing going on here. This is phenomenal news to see that the Shelley fire. In fact, what I reported earlier this morning in the recording, and as I mentioned, when I do my morning recording for Weather NorCal here, I do a semi-in-depth report of the fires. The problem is a lot of the information hasn't come in yet, at least the latest data. But so that's why we can get you more information and more data as we, oops, I need to go in here, make sure that's all good. And I'm going to take you to the south now where we've got the Hill Fire. Now the Hill Fire, as you can see here, is to the west of Burnt Ranch. Now unfortunately, latest data coming in on the east side of the fire, we are seeing that there is some recent activity in the last 6 hours or so on the east side of the fire. That area of red is where you have that activity that we've got to watch closely. So we look at the fire perimeter. Now this is the latest data coming in. The latest data coming in is showing that the fire perimeter is still, these distances aren't going to change, by the way, for Fort Jones, Greenview, and Etna, because the good news is we've got 55% containment of the fire. Most of that containment is on the north, east, and even many parts of the south side of the fire. So the fire, the part of the fire that looks the most threatening and the most, I guess the scariest part for places like Fort Jones, Greenview, and Etna is the fact that that side of the fire that is nearest you is contained. That's where the firefighters have containment. So that is phenomenal news. We're not going to see these distances get any closer, as long as that containment line holds, and it shouldn't usually be a problem. But now we're at 15,477 acres, and the footprint of this fire perimeter hasn't changed over the last 24 hours. Now we look at the Hill Fire. This is updated since this morning. We're at 8% containment and just over 7,000 acres. Now we're still looking at not much in the way of distance change to Burnt Ranch, Willow Creek, or Blue Lake, but this is a fire, as you saw, it's still active, and it's something we've got to watch here very closely. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you to, let's make sure we got the right thing in here. We're going to take you to, here it is. Take a look at this. If you look in the upper right-hand corner of your screen here, you've got some recent activity there. There's a fire there. We'll take a closer look at that here in a second. The fires that recently started near Portola, you can see here kind of at the bottom right portion of your screen, you'll notice the hot spot there as well. In fact, still showing at the current hour a hot spot in that area. Now that's something we don't typically want to see because that shows that it's still a fairly active fire. So let's take a look at watch duty and we'll show you what we're looking at here. So let's start with the fire in Modoc County called the Pencil Fire. That is at 500 acres and at 10% containment. And this was updated about 12 minutes ago. Now, earlier it was saying it was like 90% contained, so there seems to be some conflicting data coming in. But based on 12 minutes ago coming in from watch duty, the Pencil Fire is 500 acres at approximately, at 10% containment at this point. Let's zoom it out here, and we're going to take you down to some of the fires that are a bit concerning out towards southeastern portions of Plumas County. We're going to take you to the Smith Fire and the Mill Fire that we're looking at right here. Now, there are evacuation orders and warnings. So you've got the community of Portola, kind of right there in the center of your screen right there, the POR 001. There is an evacuation warning for much of the Portola area. South of Portola is where you do have the evacuation order. So you've got the Smith Fire to the north and west, or actually to the west of Portola, and you've got the Mill Fire, which is to the south and southwest of Portola. So we take a look at the Mill Fire, no containment at this point, 1,637 acres, and we take you out to the Smith Fire, which is at 48 acres, no containment there, and the fire was mapped to 48 acres by Virus. This is 4 hours ago. Their perimeter can be viewed on watch duty map. So you can see the fire perimeter there, still kind of, in a rural area, but again, the main community of concern with both the Smith and the Mill Fire is, of course, going to be the community of Portola. But you'll also notice, if we kind of zoom out here, we have got Feather River Inn, you got Blairsden, as we kind of head south into kind of south of out of the area, you've got Calpine, not in Modoc County, by the way. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Let's zoom it out here, and some of the towns should kind of come up. So, of course, you got the fairgrounds and animal shelter. So that is a place where you can bring your animals if you have any animals and you're impacted by this evacuation order or warning. All right, so that's kind of a latest look, kind of looking at watch duty and what's going on with those fires. So we're watching it very closely, and it's something that I'll continue to monitor. As I mentioned, in the morning weather forecast and during Coffee with Krueger is when I will usually typically give the most extensive fire coverage, and then it's kind of just every 24 hours, okay? Because the data kind of comes in throughout the day and, of course, overnight into the morning hours. Now, we look at the winds, and the winds are not a factor right now. But there is a bit of a concern, especially as we go into Wednesday. Not necessarily today, your typical afternoon breezes kind of coming in here this afternoon. We take a look at the humidity levels. They're actually dropping here for today. I do expect humidity levels around 20% near the fires. That is lower than what we were looking at yesterday, and still very low humidity in the valley and the eastern mountains as expected. So we look at the fire weather risk here. The areas of orange and red is where the high to extreme fire danger. That's basically for the valley. But again, we're beginning to see more of that moderate to high fire danger in places like Trinity County and western Siskiyou County, where we haven't seen that much in weeks past. So what's the reason why we saw those thunderstorms near Portola yesterday? That's the monsoon moisture. And you can clearly see that yesterday afternoon over Nevada, but some of that did make its way into extreme eastern portions of California, which is why we saw those lightning strikes. So we look at Futurecast for today, and I think we're going to see another chance for afternoon thunderstorms in Lassen, Plumas, and Modoc counties. Now, you'll notice it's not very widespread. There you can see this afternoon at 3 p.m., most of it looks to be in Modoc County. But again, we can't rule out some of that activity making its way into Lassen County and even Plumas County. But to the west of that, it should remain dry. All right, and then of course we go into tonight. It dries out, but then Wednesday is the next day we got to watch. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in our deeper dive forecast. But there you can see the temperatures are dropping. We're down into the mid-90s for Redding by the weekend. Absolutely gorgeous. Of course, that's when my family and I are coming back, is this weekend. So we're bringing some of this cooler coastal weather where we are with us. You're welcome. That's what we got here, of course, as we go into the weekend. But, wouldn't you know, we're back into the heat. However, for next week, it's not going to be as hot. So the heat will rebuild, but not as hot as what we're experiencing out there right now. All right, so let's take a look at Main Street, Chico. It looks like traffic is flowing smoothly over there. We take you out to Highway 99 at Neal Road. Plenty of traffic this morning as people are heading out to work. And Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive looks a little busy this morning with the traffic. And of course, we'll kind of get to that here in just a second. But let's go ahead and see what everybody's up to here. Rebecca's saying, it is so beautiful out at La Bufadora and lots of shopping. Good morning from MacArthur. How you doing, Tracy? Glad you all could join us this morning. All right, tell you what, let's get to the forecast here so I can get on with my day, and of course my vacation is too, right? All right, let's go and take a look. Of course, we got to mention our sponsor. Remember that Coffee with Krueger, no matter where I am, is always made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Let's take a look at the radar again here, and you can see those lightning strikes that we did see yesterday afternoon around the Portola area. Now, no confirmation on where those fires came from yesterday, but most likely it was very active over there. There were a lot of lightning strikes. I'd be willing to guess at this point that those fires that you're seeing down towards Portola in southeastern Plumas County were lightning sparked. All right, here's our temperatures out there right now. We're still very mild in the valley in the 80s, 50s, and 60s for the higher elevations. The heat wave actually peaked yesterday and today. Today is going to be a lot like yesterday. So take the weather you saw yesterday, tack that on here for today. All right, possible afternoon thunderstorms continue in the eastern mountains even tomorrow, and Siskiyou County will be included in there tomorrow as well. We'll take a closer look in a second. The cooling trend going into the weekend, the cooling trend really starts tomorrow, but you'll really notice it by the end of the week and this weekend. But yeah, it's warming back up again as we go into early next week. So again, as we saw there earlier, the wind's not that much of a factor right now. Now we're going to take a look at the next couple of days. Afternoon breezes, normal, nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary. And then, of course, we take a look at this tomorrow afternoon. Now the winds are picking up. You see the yellows in there? That's upwards of 30 miles per hour. Not only Wednesday, but that'll be the case on Thursday as well. So we got to watch for that potential. Now, taking a look at just the winds, right? The winds are picking up, unfortunately, the next couple of days, but the humidity will still be very low. You see today, even lower for places around the fires, especially in Trinity and western Siskiyou County. Now, it looks like humidity may increase a little bit really across the board as that monsoon moisture does work its way in. So a little bit more humid, but then it dries back out again on Thursday. So let's take a look at this. This is the fire potential for your Wednesday. The areas in red is where you have the potential for lightning strikes. That's the concern here for fire danger tomorrow. Where you see orange is where you have the winds. You see that in the valley and east of the valley as well. Now the thunderstorms should be gone by Thursday, but the winds are sticking around, keeping that fire danger on the high side here, especially to the north and east of the valley. So again, let's take a look at the fire weather risk for today. Your typical spots is where we have the orange, that's the high fire danger. Extreme fire danger is the red, that's going into Wednesday. That's because of the stronger winds. We go into Thursday, still that high to extreme. Now, even though the winds are expected to still be fairly strong on Thursday, I think they'll be strongest on Wednesday, dying down a little bit on Thursday, and then especially going into your Friday. So a quick reminder, lightning strikes, listen, those can start fires, but we can do whatever we can to help prevent those fires from starting. So, don't drive on dry grass. Never toss cigarettes on the ground. Use grills on gravel or paved surfaces. Mow your lawn early in the morning and when it's hot, not windy and excessively dry. And never leave fires unattended, and always, always properly extinguish any fires that you may have for, say, campfires, for example. So the smoke, the haze, actually is not going to be that much of a concern. In fact, it looks like conditions are improving as we go through the day on Wednesday and into Wednesday night. So that certainly is some good news, despite the fact that we do have those fires out there. Now again, the monsoon moisture is something we've got to watch. You can see some of that moisture coming in around that flow down to our south and west over the ocean. You see to the west of San Francisco, those clouds? That's actually a disturbance that's going to be rotating around the area of high pressure, and that is actually going to bring us a chance for some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. But today, mostly in the eastern mountains, Modoc County, Lassen County, even Plumas County. Elsewhere, it looks like it's going to be dry, obviously. Now, take a look at tomorrow morning. Look at that. Is that a thunderstorm near Chico and Corning that I see there? That's tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. But what this is that kind of a stream of monsoon moisture coming in. It's going to feel more muggy than you're used to. Humidity is increasing. That's why we're seeing the humidity increase. However, that disturbance will pass through tomorrow morning, bringing a chance for thunderstorms in eastern Shasta County, say around Bernie. Alturas could see some of that activity. Now, once that passes, it's not over. We've got the noon hour, thunderstorms popping up in Lassen County. Clouds, by the way, to start the day off in the valley tomorrow, and then those clouds should clear out in the valley. But look at this. We're seeing more thunderstorms popping up tomorrow afternoon, including Siskiyou County and the eastern mountains. And then by Thursday, we're done. We're done with that chance for thunderstorms. But again, those winds is a factor. Long range as we go into the end of this week, this upcoming weekend, looks like that monsoon moisture is going to stay to our east, and I don't anticipate any more thunderstorms here in the mountains anytime soon, as most of that activity should stay to our south and east after tomorrow. So, switching gears, let's talk about the heat. The heat is pushing eastward, all thanks to that area of low pressure to our north. As that pushes to our north, that's going to take that heat and push it off to the east. However, once that moves out over this weekend and into early next week, high pressure is going to rebuild over the desert southwest. But here's the difference between next week's heat and the heat we're seeing now. You see where the main bubble of heat is? It's way off to our east, in fact, over Colorado. That is far enough away that even though, yes, we're going to be impacted by it, we're going to see warmer temperatures, but it's not going to be as hot as we're experiencing now. So instead of 110, 111 in the valley, more like 104, 105. That's still hot, but at least it's not the 110, 111. Now the wave heights, still fairly high for today, but they will be dropping by tomorrow afternoon. Okay? So we look at our marine forecast for your Tuesday. North winds at 15 to 20 knots. Still have that small current advisory today, but that should be allowed to be lifted by later on this evening. All right, so here is your detailed Trinity County forecast. Yeah, temperature's hot, but look at the temperatures dropping. We're in the low 90s over the weekend. Let's take it to the south, 96 for Peanut, 104 in Hayfork today. Ruth, about 99 degrees. It is just going to be downright hot no matter where you go, with the exception of, well, of course, you guessed it, the coast, right? Redway, about 100 degrees today, down to the 80s by Friday and through the weekend. And of course, Ferndale, yeah, some of the cooler spots there as well. 70 in Fortuna, 71 for Rio Dale. By the way, these are the temperatures I'm experiencing right now here on the Baja coast. So very nice, very pleasant. But I feel for you. I know what you're experiencing. I've felt that heat before. 106 out of Willow Creek, 104 for Hoopa, and Trinidad about 74 degrees. Gas Key about 89, 107 for Orleans, and 73 degrees out in Orick. How about your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast? Whew, it's still hot. Even in those higher elevations, we take you out to Scott Valley with 102 for Etna. By the way, notice in Siskiyou County, in central and eastern Siskiyou County really is where you have the best chance for thunderstorms possibly popping up tomorrow. Not today, but tomorrow. Now today and tomorrow, Modoc County can see that activity here. That's also the case for the eastern mountains, places like Bernie, Biola, Shingletown. Now, especially for the first half of the day, right, for Bernie and Viola and all of that, right? But we take you to Lake Almanor, Lassen Park. Today, tomorrow, the chance for thunderstorms. Look how much cooler it is in Lassen Park. We're back down to the low 70s by Friday and through the weekend. So that'll be a good place to kind of cool off and enjoy the beautiful sights of Lassen Volcanic National Park, right? Temperature is still hot for Paradise and Susanville. Susanville, that chance for thunderstorms again this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. We take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Yeah, temperatures are dropping after today, but still very hot at least through Thursday, but dropping below 100 degrees here by Friday. Take you up north, 110 for the city of Shasta Lake, 111 for Redding, and 109 in Cottonwood. And looking at your 7-day outlook for Redding, yeah, there's that 111 today, 104 by Thursday, 98 on Friday, and we're in the mid-90s here as we take you into the weekend. So it does look like we have much more pleasant weather in store for us here as we go into the weekend and next week. All right, let's see here. Rebecca saying, please share pictures of La Bufadora. Yeah, I will definitely do that. I'll probably share them on social media today, but yeah, I'll try to share them on Coffee with Krueger. I'm anticipating Coffee with Krueger again tomorrow. Depending on what we've got going on, I may do another Coffee with Krueger on Thursday. We'll see what our plans are, but I may have Brian at the very least fill in for me on Friday. But I may do Coffee with Krueger on Thursday. These aren't too bad. I think I can handle this. Jackie is saying don't drag your chains. That's right. When it comes to preventing fires, if you're towing a trailer, of course, as you know, you've got to have those chains on there. Do whatever you can to prevent those chains from dragging on the road. Laura Bates is saying, I'm anticipating the cooler weather this weekend. Absolutely anticipate it, love it, and enjoy it. That's when we're coming back from Mexico, is coming back up this weekend. So I'm looking forward to not stepping out into a furnace for the first time after a nice cool vacation here in Mexico. All right, folks, that's going to do it for today. We're going to kind of wrap things up here and take a look at some of the cameras in the area and see what it kind of looks like out there. Let's take a look at Lake Orville, North Forebay. There you can see we are looking at a pretty nice start to the day. Now this is another location here. There you can see, that's not where the lake actually typically is it? Has it dried out that much? I'm not exactly sure where we're looking at right there, but kind of interesting. Again, we're looking at Main Street, Chico, and I wanted to show you this, not this. Let's get over to this. Oh, yes, that's a nice shot. That is a nice shot. For those of you who live in Crescent City, who live on the coast, this is definitely a welcome sight, wouldn't you say? A beautiful shot over out at Crescent City Harbor District, turning out to be a gorgeous start to the day over there. All right, folks, that is going to do it for us today. Again, because I'm out remote, I don't have all my cool gadgets that I have typically in the studio, so we're not going to wrap up with the music. But just want to remind you that I'll have an update for you again this evening at 6 p.m. And of course, another one at noon. And we will be back here tomorrow morning on Wednesday for Coffee with Krueger. I will share some photos. And by the way, I want to remind you all that even though I'm on vacation, I still want you to take pictures. And I want you to use the free Weather NorCal app to share those pictures. And I want to share those pictures with all of you. And in fact, if we continue to get more and more of these pictures, that will allow us to put them on social media, to show one a day on the morning update, as well as right here on Coffee with Krueger. I appreciate the familiar names that are sending pictures, but I want to see new names. I want to see those of you who may not necessarily, watch every single day. But if you're seeing this, just take a point to take a snapshot. Sunrise, sunset, your dog, whatever. I love all these photos, and it's so much fun just to kind of step outside exactly what's going on with the weather and see what you all are doing and share your photos as well. All right, folks, that's going to do it here for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger right here on Weather NorCal. Have yourselves a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning.